Ladies and gentlemen, the next session will begin shortly. Please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, the next session will begin shortly. Please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, the next session will begin shortly. Please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, the next session will begin shortly. Please take your seats.
Good morning, everyone. Morning. Everyone had their coffees? Yeah? Because I see some sleepy faces out there. Yeah, okay. All right, this is an innovation, okay, summit. And so, like the title, we need to be energetic, enthusiastic, okay, vibrant. So try to stay awake, even if I bore you with my initial speech, okay? Now, so before I start, my name is John David Kim, okay? I'm responsible for Northeast Asia at GSMA, and also I manage the Digital Transformation Acceleration Forum, which I would like a lot of you guys out there, if you're not a member, please join this forum as a member. It doesn't cost you anything, but it really does help to grow scale in the community that really drives digital transformation across the board. Okay, so if you want, if you'd like some additional information about that, let us know. Let the GSMA staff know, and we'll share that information as well. We also have our partner, the innovation partner. Previously, it was called Born to Global. Now it's called GDIN, Global Digital Innovation Network, right? And so they've been GDIN's been our innovation partner for the last year and a half, and we'll be working together to further enhance digital transformation across the board, okay, globally and regionally. Okay, so today we have digital acceleration. We have this summit. We have many speakers, many influential leaders, thinkers, and so on are participating. And here are just the few people that will be participating as panelists, okay, and speakers. And then, some of these, the panelists from here, not the speakers, but the panelists from here will also be the judges of the 16 startups that will be pitching their propositions to you, from 2 till 3:30. So please be around, okay, because I think we'll have some really interesting propositions. And we'll have from 4:40 onwards, we'll also have awards, and we'll have 4 winners from 4 verticals, namely ESG sustainability, AI and machine learning, intelligent cities, and health tech. Okay, so 4 winners from those verticals, and then out of those 4 winners, we'll have 1 overall winner. Okay, the grand prize winner. And just to let you know, the prizes it's not that big, but as GSMA, for the 4 vertical winners, we will provide free passes to either MWC Las Vegas or Shanghai. The grand prize winner will receive the MWC pass to Barcelona next year. Okay. So, and the agenda here, it's just just go through the agenda. Start, welcome, introduction, keynotes. We'll have an opening panel discussion, which will be moderated by myself. We'll have, after that, after lunch, we'll have an innovative tech startup showcase. And then after the showcase, we'll have a closing panel discussion, which will be moderated by John Cap, who's the CEO of GDIN. And then, and lastly, from 4:40 till 5 o'clock, we'll have the Innovative Tech Startup Showcase Awards and closing. Now, after these awards, from 5:30 onwards, we'll, most of us, if you're available, join us in moving to the Coriana Hotel, to the rooftop bar for a networking reception session from 5:30 till 8:30. And it's been kindly sponsored by GDIN as well, okay? So I'd love to see you all there, all right? Thank you. Okay, so let's really begin. So first of all, let me introduce our head of APAC, Julian Gorman, to say a nice, welcome, warm words for everyone here before we kick start this summit. Julian.
Thanks, Johnny. Johnny told me I had to keep to 3 minutes, but I think Johnny's already used up my 3 minutes. So, ladies and gentlemen, today, from a GSMA point of view, I think we stand at the dawn of a new era, really. In the realm of technology, change is about the only thing that is constant, but in the era we're entering into, change is like jumping up another level. And really, it's our collective responsibility to harness that power for the benefit of all. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to emphasize the criticality of it, that we harness that change for digital transformation and innovation and the pursuit of inclusive and the sustainable digital nations. So, digital transformation innovation really catalyzes economic growth. It empowers businesses from small business to large enterprise, unlock new markets, streamline operations, and create new jobs. And that's what the startups and the ventures who are here today doing. But as 5G matures, as AI is put in our pockets by every smartphone, IoT and big data exponentially grow the scale of what's connected to our mobile networks. And mobile technology really is embedding itself as the foundations of our digital nations. It's crucial to remember that with great power comes great responsibility. So a sustainable digital nation is one that embraces technology with forward thinking and long-term vision. And that's why we're holding the M360 in Korea. This means adopting eco-friendly practices, minimizing electronic waste, and investing in renewable energy resources, amongst other things. The choices we make today will shape the world of tomorrow and what we leave for future generations. So it's our duty to ensure that it is one of our promise and not peril that we leave in good shape for our children. This newer era I mentioned will enable unprecedented levels of innovation. And today we are privileged to get a glimpse of some of the leaders and the innovators who are pioneers in that journey. So I'd like to thank John Capp and the GDIN team for their support today, and welcome all the speakers and the ventures who have travelled from far and wide, from Indonesia and further, who have come to share and participate. So in closing, digital transformation and innovation are not mere buzzwords for the GSMA, and I know it's not a buzzword for you guys too, but it is the cornerstones of a brighter, more inclusive and sustainable future. Together we have the power to shape nations that leaves no one behind, that drive economic prosperity, and that stand resilient in the faces of challenges like COVID. So let us embrace this opportunity today, embrace the discussions, the opportunity to learn and challenge today, and embrace the responsibility to ourselves, to our communities, and to the generations yet to come to build sustainable and inclusive digital nations. Thank you.
Thanks, Julian. Okay, next I'd like to invite John Cap Kim. He's the CEO and President of GDIN now, okay? Previously as Chief Executive Director of Born Global, now GDIN.
Don't talk too much. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Do you know this place is the best spot in the Joseon Hotel? Fortunately, we secured this room for the startup. So I'm sorry for the other MNO telco people. It's like underground. So did you see? This is very historical, our set. So I'm very happy to see you here in the beautiful place and especially beautiful day today. As he mentioned, Giuliani and Johnny, we joined DXAF as a partner and tried to evangelize what's the digital transformation with the telco MNO. Because telco MNO connectivity is very important to make the digitalize something. So this is a perfect fit as a startup or tech company working with the telco or working to the telco with a digital solution. So this is the second time we have this kinds of meeting. And to this year, they set innovation investment partnership. I want to emphasize partnership more. For achieve the digital transformation, we need to collaborate. This is a totally different product. Actually, digital product is kind of services. To provide the services, we need the local demand, local problem, and the local collaboration. Without that, we cannot export digital solution. That's why I think that they put the partnership. And as a GDIN member, we try to work how we more collaborate. Different people, different nation, different industry. Digital can apply our industry, right? That's why. And then I hope today we present life tech, of course, AI, ML, the basic fundamental, and even the ESG sustainability. these kinds of all different vertical, how we comply and work together to upgrade our human life or create more economical output through these services. So thank you for coming here, and please enjoy all different countries participant, and we'll see what's the result. Good job. Thank you.
Thanks, John Cap. Since you've used all my time, I won't talk, okay? You guys are very happy, okay? All right, guys. All right, so next I'd like to invite the first keynote speaker, Mr. Sang-hyun Park, who's a CEO of Rebellions. I think some of you would have already heard about Rebellions, but I'll let Mr. Park do all the talking. It's a very successful startup. So, Mr. Park, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much for your introduction, and thank you for attending today's talks. So I think I have only 10 minutes. I need to be hurry up. So my name is Sang-hyun Park, the co-founder and CEO of Rebellions, deep tech startup dedicated to design of AI chip hardware here yourself. Today, I'd like to share our collaboration with KT, where we jointly developed full stack AI there. The point I'm trying to deliver today, the full stack AI is not built by a single standalone company, but creating by its alliance, its ecosystems. So I hope I'd like to give you kind of the chance, opportunity to reconsider the innovation and strategic investment created by ecosystem, not by standalone company. Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. Sure. Thank you. Yeah, cool. Yeah, before talking about the full stack AI, I'd like to introduce our company, Rebellion Coast. While everybody knows KT, Korea Telecom, which is one of the largest telecom companies in South Korea and #1 data center company in South Korea. But unfortunately, almost nobody knows our team Rebellions. Yeah, we founded exactly 3 years ago. We founder came from the New York to South Korea. Why? We firmly believe the next big thing in semiconductor hardware will not come from the United States anymore, but come from the South Korea or Taiwan. Is kind of the Asia. That's why it came from the New York to South Korea. I was working at the Morgan Stanley Wall Street as a vice president for Healthcare Trading, and another co-founder and CTO, Dr. Jinik O's, working at IBM TJ Watson in New York for AI chip lead. So far, we raised about almost 100 million USD within a 1.5 years. So it's kind of one of the Korean startup history as far as I know. We are now more than 90 tech elites, about 25 PhD from MIT and Harvard, mostly came from Seoul National University and KAIST. Also, we have more than 10 engineers experience like global big tech such as IBM TJ Watson 6, Apple, Intel, Synopsys, F. In terms of manpower, I believe we are one of the great startups, even in tech startup side. Last April, we submitted official benchmark named MFPerf. It officially demonstrate our chip performance outperform up to 3.4 times faster than existing same class NVIDIA GPU and Qualcomm kind of the NPU Cloud AI 100. That's the beginning of our global presence. Okay, that's the very important slide today. It's now ready to talk about the full stack AI. Full stack AI infrastructure powered by KT and its strategic investor. Again, it's not built by standalone, KT alone, but being created by all of us, KT and the KT strategic investment ecosystems. On top of AI full stack infrastructure, we have AI commercial services like AI contact center and logistics, something like a ChatGPT. One level below, we need to have algorithm backbone to theoretically support the AI commercial services. Like in our brand, our KT is medium. A similar case of the OpenAI and Microsoft, they're gonna have the ChatGPT right there. In the algorithm size right there, GPT 3.5, GPT 3, which is kind of transformer backbone. One level below to serve high volume of AI traffic, we definitely need hardware infrastructure, data center infrastructure, and the system software to efficiently orchestrate all the traffic. This hardware and the infrastructure and the system software is now being created by KT Cloud and another startups named More. It's kind of ecosystem. At the bottom of the full stack AI infrastructure, we now have custom AI chip and compiler instead of general purpose NVIDIA GPU. As I mentioned before, that custom AI chips now provide more than 3 times energy efficiency and the compute delay. That's kind of the quick overview of the AI full stack. My point is here, why the AI full stack is so important? Why do most of United States hyperscalers and big tech such as Tesla, Google, whatever, they try to their own full stack AI? The answer is cross-layer optimization. Again, cross-layer optimization. I'm gonna give you some example. When we build the AI chip and compiler here, we must have the spec and information about services and the algorithms, what kind of GPT or what kind of system software. It's not a unidirectional. It should be bidirectional. Even algorithm guys and service guys, they need to design their own algorithm and service. They need to know the spec and feature of an AI chip. The other side, we also need to know the spec and the requirement, the algorithm and backbone. It's not a simple just system, just stack by stack system. We need to optimize each stack by knowing each other's sides. It's a stack by cross-layer optimization. That's why one of the most successful story in the full stack AI in the Tesla, they build their own chips, data center at the service in the self-driving car. So it's known that full stack AI sometimes give them more than 10 times energy efficiency and performance compared to off-the-shelf commodity AI solution. That's why most of the rich companies trying to their own full stack AI. But point is here, unlikely Google, even in Korea Telecom and the KDDI, whatever the telecom company, they can't build all the full stack AI by themselves. Huge capital plus totally different technologies, just hardware, system software, KT cloud infrastructure, so algorithm something. That's why we need an ecosystem. We need to build an ecosystem between startups, gigantic company, especially telecom company has their infrastructures and capital. That's why it's very important to compare with the United States hyperscaler with the infrastructure. That's the beginning of the innovation and the collaboration in order to make exactly full stack AI. I can give you a more specific business case here. Here, our chips is now being delivered to the data center of the KT. As I mentioned before, KT is the second largest telecom company in South Korea, but more important to us, that's the #1 data center company in Korea. That require huge GPUs. Now, GPU shortage, as you know, but we can provide them more than there can be buying power for GPU and energy efficiency and the latency. So we are happy to announce that our chip is the only solution in South Korea capable of accelerating KT's medium. It's kind of the generative AI and large language model. Even now, it's now a live service. It's one of the very versatile, with energy efficient AI SO system created by the cross-layer optimization. We got the information, KT's generative AI model, named the medium, or the KT cloud requirement, it's a power requirement, performance requirement. There's a full stack layer AI and cross-layer optimizations. Okay, I think it's kind of my last slide. Don't panic. I know it's too technical, but I don't want to touch one by one. What I want to try in this slide is a super complicated software stack, but now being developed by ecosystem. One example, we have cloud stack and the compiler stack at the bottom of all the stacks, the virtualization and hardware. The cloud stack itself is not built by KT Cloud and other startup More. This compiler stack here, upside down, now developed by a laptop and other ecosystem startup. The backend compiler is developed by our Rebellions. Also virtualization, we are collaborating with the KT Cloud and the United States partners. Point is again, it's a huge ecosystem, but we can do it. we can do that by the innovation and collaboration between startup and the giant telecom infrastructure company. So I think it's huge opportunity when you talk about Gen AI, but it requires a lot of money and a lot of totally different technology. The only way we can do it is ecosystem and not by, for example, even KT, not a single telecom company, we can do it together by the ecosystem. At our performance, you can check the publicly available, you can check all the website. Okay, that's it today. Yeah, you can know all the technical detail today. The point is here, ecosystem and the innovation and collaboration, technical background startup and infrastructure telecom company. That you can think about your strategic investment and collaboration. Please be open to the startup. Okay, startup guys sometimes no, that's really needed. That everyone also needed in kind of our ecosystem. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Thanks, Sang-hyun. I have to say, I mean, I just wanted to Sang-hyun, just one thing. You're running away. No. I just want to say, I think your company is fantastic, but you would not have done it on your own, right? That's the most important thing. KT as well, right? And it goes to to all of us as well. We can't do it on our own. It's all about collaboration, okay? And to collaborate, you also need to be communicating freely, okay, flexibly. So that's great. Thank you again, Sang-hyun. Thank you. Are you IPOing soon? Tell us some information, okay? Yeah, okay. All right, guys. All right, so next, I'd like to invite Mr. John Ha, okay, from Bear Robotics. Okay, Mr. John Ha. John, I'll call you John, okay? There you go. Yep. All right.
Nice to meet you, everyone. I'm the co-founder of Bear Robotics. We are making a mobility platform for indoor and outdoor robot. So we are founded in Silicon Valley in 2017, and my background is a software engineer. My PhD area is applying AI in compiler or operating systems, have nothing to do with robotics. Then how did I get into the robotics field is like this. So I got bored at Google and I thought like, it might be fun to just open a restaurant. And that was a really bad move. I learned it the hard way and how difficult it is to run a restaurant. So here's my important message to you. If you go through a midlife crisis, never ever think about opening a restaurant. You'll regret and you'll lose money. Instead, go buy a nice sports car. At least you can sell it. So anyway, I had to go into the kitchens doing cooking and serving. And the more I work at a restaurant, I feel like, this is not a human job. We need a robot here. So I'm an engineer. And I was lucky that I met with a lot of smart guys. So our CTO from Google as well, and another guy from Europe joined us and built the robot at the corner of my restaurant. A lot of people in Silicon Valley found the company at the garage, but we ended up founding the company at the corner of the restaurant. So they both have the unofficial world record of programming the most hours inside the restaurant. This is our, sorry, I think I drank too much yesterday. Can someone bring me some water, please? There you go. All right, get some water. Go back to your spot. You can be a little bit rude to the robot, but not to the humans. So I'll show you our latest the product Servi Plus for the hospitality industry.
Introducing 16 plus dish capacity to increase efficiency. With advanced
This
features
is a fully
like smooth
self-driving
all-floor
robot.
suspension,
With a touch of a
ADA
button,
ramp
it can go
navigation,
from
and
any
stable
indoor
liquid
A to
delivery.
B. It can even
Your
take the
staff can go
elevator
above and beyond.
to different floor
Responsive LED lighting,
and go up to
multiple table
different
capability,
thresholds,
and custom tray configurations accommodate
a lot of
extra large trays and bus
lighting effects.
Survey Plus is a great addition to the team. Bigger, stronger, Survey Plus.
All right. So, I mean, people know about us as like a restaurant robots, but like our core uh, product is the robot platform for mobility. So we have this base robot that can do, self-driving and indoor mobility, and we have an open API. You can build up any robotic application on top of it, and we have a huge component of the cloud management that can control the robot and monitor and manage it remotely. So actually, we have a lot of projects going on beyond the restaurant industry, like hotels, hospitals, retail, and factory and warehouse. And many people are building their robot product on top of our platform because, like, if you want to build a robot from scratch, it costs a lot of money. But if you use our the platform, then you only need a small engineering, and you can make your own product for your use. So 90% is provided, and you only need to develop 10%. So one of the best thing that we can do, I think we are the best in the world in this space, is we are able to control multiple robots in an uncontrolled and unstructured environment, meaning that we don't have a central control, or we don't need any traffic control. And a robot can work alongside a human. And each robot is making independent, intelligent decisions to work with human and other robots together. So you just drop in the robot at like 10, 100, or 1,000. It's going to scale up because it's a complete distributed algorithm. So I'll show you the video. Like, there's one restaurant down in Jeonju, Korea, using 16 of our robots. The owner literally tested all the restaurant robots in the world, and ours are only robot that works in such environment. So these fleet of 16 robots are delivering almost 1,000 dishes, 1,000 deliveries a day, and they're driving about 70 kilometers a day. And we started from Redwood City, the Silicon Valley, and now we are able to operate globally. We have a partner in Korea. It's called Korea Telecom, as you know. And in Japan, SoftBank is our distributor. And we have office in Ireland covering the Europe and Middle East, and Singapore office covers Southeast Asia and Australia. And our fleet of robots have driven 2.7 million kilometers. That is equivalent to going around the world 67 times, and have made 140 million deliveries. So if you imagine like serving 3 to 4 people table, that's roughly about serving 1.5% of the Earth's population, and also carried more than 2 million dishes. So we have experienced a lot and have matured the product. I mean, like self-driving there's a lot of corner cases. Why Tesla cars better than some other cars? Because they have driven more, collected more data, and the AI has evolved much better. We couldn't have done this alone because like we are a small startup, and we're good with ideas, making products, and with innovation. But now this is a hardware. How do we distribute, meet with a customer, and actually deploy? So KT was a really good partner for us. Like restaurant is fragmented market, but their internet customers like are around the country. So and these telecom companies are, I think, really good for robotic business because they're based on subscription business, and robot revenue will be like 10 times of the internet line, right? So you can charge 10 times more. So the salesperson is motivated to, sell robots. So all the systems ready. You just need to add a product, and the revenue will be, it's a good revenue for the new business. So KT and us partnered well. So they grow this new business unit for robot, and we provide a good technology for them. So it was a great partnership. So otherwise, we couldn't have grown this far so far. So last slide. So 5,000 years ago, when people were building pyramids, and you just go to the Egyptians and say, yeah, can we get rid of poor slaves? And everybody say, yeah, they're poor, but like, how can we sustain the society would be the reaction. But like, was there no humanity back then? No, people have this humanity. But like, nowadays, we don't need slaves, right? We don't like, we know how to run the society without it. And I think the big reason for that is the productivity came from the technology. But we still have worker class, and there's like a labor issues. And why? Is because you have to hire someone to do something that you don't want to do. It's not like cool, robot project or AI chip project that, hey, I'm doing a cool project, join us and let's do the cool thing together, right? Just, hire someone to carry dishes, packages. Like, I think that's where the technology can help. So I think our company is providing the value to the world that someday all of these, in Korea we call it 3D industry. I don't know I've never heard that in the US. So some physically demanding and repetitive work that doesn't need the creativity is something where our robot can help, and we can work together to make a bright future. Thank you so much.
Thanks, John. Thank you. Thank you very much. Great. John, just before you go, I mean, obviously you're working with KT, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I mean, working with partners, there are pros, but there are also cons.
Mhm.
Okay, so if you were to mention, based on your experience of over the last 5-6 years, okay, working with partners or bigger companies, okay, what would be the three pros and three cons?
Tough question.
Yeah. Be honest, okay?
Okay.
KT won't mind.
Yeah, I think the pros, there are more pros than cons, I think. Like, robot is a very complicated machine, right? It's not just like implementing AI or SLAM algorithms, like harder quality and all the way to like network connectivity. And KT is a network company, so we learned a lot about how to build a good networking device, or even how to test, how to manage the quality. And then as a startup to scale up, like, should we hire like 100 salesperson? Like, we don't have money to do that. Like, KT has 10,000 salesperson. So we can focus more on improving the product, and then our revenue and sales grows with just partnering with KT. And also, like, with investment, we can survive and grow.
They're a major investor, aren't they, KT?
Not the major investor.
Significant.
Maybe in the future, I don't know.
Okay.
Let's ask the CEO. Yeah, the cons, I think, is like the culture is different. Like the startup culture, and KT is more like established corporations. So then, like, we have to ask these startup guys who is more like, free souls, to work with some more structured company, and then there's some culture conflicts.
Clash,
And working through that was one of the difficulty. But I think now our team is well adjusted and be very successful. So I think overall the partnership was very good. Have a good synergy. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Great. Thank you very much. Big clap for John, please. By the way, we have many free souls here as well, John. Okay? All right. So next, I'd like to invite my good friend of mine, Zaif Siddiqui from NTT Communications. As you can see, he's worn his tie and his suit.
Mistake I made.
There you go.
Well, thank you, Johnny. Thank you very much. I think I cannot make this boring now. Yeah, I have to make it interesting. Can I get some water? Oh, the machine's gone. Okay, the machine's gone already. They took it away, So in this case, human beings can bring water for me if anybody wants to bring the water. Anyway, I'm just joking. So welcome everybody, drivers of digital transformation, innovation, collaboration, and investment. I think these three keywords, extremely relevant for our discussion today, and how to bring structured people like me with a tie. You know, there was a mention of slave. I'll tell you, I am a corporate slave. Okay, I am a corporate slave. So today, it's great to see startups coming out and then to understand how they can work together with companies like us. And maybe I was just thinking, why am I in NTT? You know, why shouldn't I move to a startup, right? Maybe people like myself should be working with these people more and more. Yeah, and with that, thank you very much. I have to press this one?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, yeah. So regarding NTT Group, how many of you have heard NTT Group? I think, okay, we got good hands, so I'm not gonna go into detail. I am representing the Docomo Group here in red. So we do the integrated ICT business. And overall, we do roughly about 100 billion US dollar of annual revenue. And we have about 10% of that as our operating profit. And our main goal is to find and use technology to solve the societal issues. What are the issues that are in the society? How can our technology, together with our ecosystem partners, solve those problems? So to do that, before doing the digital transformation, recently we did an organizational transformation. So if you go to our website, you will see some of our new structures that we have put in place. And we have divided our 5 entities into 4. And we are consolidating our synergies within the group. So we don't want to have a system where people are doing things in silos. We're trying to bring synergy within the group. And if you look at this, what Docomo Business does is connecting businesses. We want to work with our partners. And we not just want to bring startups and different people as a part of the transformation, but we need the young generation as well. You see this is a typical Japanese punk, okay? He would be like, sitting in front of a 7-Eleven, maybe, like sitting down like this and having a cigarette, So that's the kind of guy. But we want these people to be part of this whole system. And maybe he could be in agriculture. And how does that happen? It's by connecting businesses. So we bring businesses together. I just want to make sure there's no time going. So I'm. Okay, now it's there. Okay, thank you very much. So going further, so innovating a sustainable future for the people and planet is what we are striving for, and this is our group's initiative that we work. And for that, we are making our own investments. And how we do that is, I think I should come. There's no slide here, man. I'll come here. Okay, so for that purpose, what we have been doing is that we're investing 54 billion US dollars over the next 5 years. Now, that's a bit of sum of money, right? And that's what we can do as a telco partner. We are able to use our cash to put those money into those growth areas. What are the growth areas? It's the 5G, AI, IoT, working with startups, working with our ecosystem partners. That's where we're going to be investing in the next 5 years. And here are the pillars of our initiative. One of the key ones that I'm going to highlight is the one on the upper part, where we as a creator will be accelerating the global sustainable society. I'll be focusing on these 4 points on the top going forward. And before I go into that, I want to introduce you what is IOWN. This is Innovative Optical Wireless Network. And this is the future where we are going to have this is a new initiative where we'll be using photons, we'll be using cognitive foundation, we'll be using digital twin computing. And the orchestration of all this will be building an infrastructure which will allow people to have higher capacity of speeds flowing through. The structure we have now for 5G, if 6G comes along, you will need an infrastructure. You will need a photons electro network, which will allow higher capacity. And that will create further innovation. And that's why we're investing in this network. Here is how we're going to be investing. We're investing 200 million as IOWN 1.0, going all the way until IOWN 4.0. So we'll be accelerating this development and also investing 680 million in the total research as we work to build 6G as well. The important thing today in the keynote by Huawei, data-driven creation of new value. I think this is also extremely important, and we will be investing 6.8 billion over the next 5 years. And this will allow us in different areas, whether it's healthcare or financial services, to serve our customers with the partnership of making use of these customer database that we have. We need to make sure that data is the most important thing in collaboration as well. And that was also mentioned by Huawei. And I think that's a very important part. How do you really monetize that data? And of course, what we have to do is strengthen the use of DX and data in the society and industry in the use of AI and robotics. We just saw that right now. You just saw this thing going over there and serving the water, and also in restaurants serving people food. How do we enhance these AI and robotics? Both on the consumer side and also on the industrial side, not just domestically, but also globally. How do we build an infrastructure which allows things to happen on the spot, anywhere, everywhere, at any time, on any device? These are the things that we have to work on. And further to expand that, we have to upgrade data centers as well. Data centers and also the carbon emission that we have. So we are building an infrastructure across the globe, and we are building the third largest data center globally that we have in the world, and we're going to enhance our data center capabilities. And for that, we have to also work with companies like AWS. Just now in the keynote as well, we had a speech from AWS, and we partner with them. And we are also reducing our carbon emission, and we are increasing our efficiency by 70%. So these are some very important initiatives that we're taking. And coming to collaboration, which I think Johnny loves the most, is how do we bring this into a circular economy society? Using the green energy, bringing the ION that I mentioned earlier, the ICT, also the wind power, solar power, and different energies that we have, and passing it on to the lower grid networks, right? How do we make that happen? This is also the job, I would say, of NTT as a value creator in the society to solve the societal issues. And furthermore, we have to be economy-oriented. So we have the different industries. We have the, even recycling we have the smart aquaculture, we have smart livestock, we have smart forestries, and we have to introduce AI and robotics into these areas as well. Because there are people who are not willing to work in this area, then we need to find computers, we need to find AI, we need to have ChatGPT and different types of technologies to support these industries as well and reduce the carbon emission. And therefore, going forward into 2030 and 2040, we are going to go carbon neutral. And these are some plans that we have as part of the NTT Green Innovation toward 2040. And here, strengthening of the business foundations, we are going to also invest 1.1 billion by FY 2025 to see how we can make sure that our infrastructure is sustainable. In case of disaster, now we have so many floods, we have different earthquakes, we have different issues around the world. We need to make sure that our infrastructure is backed by a redundant system. And this is also part of a very important investment that we make. And having said that, I have covered the top part that I mentioned. We also want to improve employee experience. We have to also upgrade the customer experience. These are very important areas as well to promote drivers of the digital transformation and innovation, collaboration, investment. And by doing that, we can have an open and innovative corporate culture, keeping our customers at the core, doing innovation with trial and error. We keep ourselves open and continue the collaboration as much as we can. And with that, you can take your phone. Thank you very much.
Great, thanks, Ayi. Thanks for a great presentation. Thank you very much. Okay, I hope you found the presentation interesting. But Zaif, before we go on to the next panel, I mean, I just saw a lot of opportunities in your slide about NTT Docomo and the NTT Communications future projects, okay? How can these guys, the startups, take advantage of that? How can they reach out to NTT?
Well, first, I have my business card here, so you can take my business card later. But, I mean, how to reach out? We have a 5G open partner program, which is open to everybody. If you go to our website, you can register, and currently we have over 5,000 partners in Japan, and we're also inviting people from abroad that they could join this 5G open partner program, where we have companies from robotics, we have people from healthcare, we have people from agriculture, and we have people from smart cities, we have governments, we have financial institutions, we have trading companies joining us, and that's where we collaborate and find how can our services, together with your services, match and create value in the society. And that's what the connecting businesses and business matching is all about. So this is something, what we do. So you are free to reach out to me. You're free to reach out to the website. We have a chat, chat GPT type of, our chat stuff on our website as well. You could chat with them as well. So you're more than welcome to work with us anytime. And do you need robots for this, or do you want me to? Are you good with that? Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
So that's how you could reach out. Yeah.
Okay. I hope that's helpful. Okay.
You're done with that. You're done.
I'm done. I'm the robot here. Okay. So, all right. So we'll go on to the next part of this summit, and that's a panel an opening panel discussion. And I'd like to invite Jackson, please. Jackson Bay. He's from Salesforce. He's the head of startups. Okay. Anders Rizky, who's the chief of AR and VR and INVRA, Indonesian VR Association. Yep. Mr. Arpit Karali, who's a partner at EY Consulting, TMT Consulting. Mr. Sung-Hoon Kim. Okay. Right. He's a managing partner of Mission Law Firm. And I think some of you will be thinking, what the hell? What's a Mission Law Firm doing here? Okay? but he'll explain. Okay, he'll explain. All right? He's very, very relevant. Very, very relevant. And of course, we'll have Tenny Sum, okay, who for Partners and Alliances from Huawei. Right. I can't sit down, so I'll stand, guys. Okay.
I can bring one for you.
Daijoubu ne.
You can eat it.
Daijoubu.
Okay. You can still use this.
Yeah, I'll sit down there. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. Look, today with the opening session, I wanted to just this opening session will be very much based on a couple of things. It's about, as I've been mentioning, about collaboration. Okay. And, effective, what's an effective way of engaging the ecosystem, okay? And really bringing out the collaboration to drive digital transformation forward. Second, how do you really successfully identify and partner in the digital ecosystem? As startups, you want to do that. As established leading vertical players, you want to do that, okay? As platform players or middlemen, you want to do that, okay? So we'll actually discuss around these topics and get some really good insightful views from these gentlemen. Sorry, it's not very diverse, is it? Yeah, apologies. So let's start with a couple of questions. First of all, in terms of, and I'll start with you, Mr. Sung-Hoon. Okay, yeah. For example, how can use non-core business capabilities, okay, such as legal, finance, and HR, okay, to really drive expansion and growth, collaboration, and partnerships to open up more opportunities domestically and internationally, Okay. And I'd like to get your views, and after that, I'd like to get from a law firm, and then your views from a consultant's perspective, please. Okay? Yeah.
Oh, I'm the postman. Okay, thank you. I will talk about war, not wars. There are no wars. Yeah. So, and I have privacy phone, so I will use this, if you don't mind. Yeah. So today I would like to talk about wars. One is technological. The future created by privacy and technology is breaking down walls between space and times and creating the movement and convergence of information is in a variety and branded flexible ways. Yeah. And whereas in the past, in the very distant past, communication was done on paper or email or electronic files, we now have a different segment of information and data being collected and distributed in real time by different actors, by different device. Yes. So, yes, there are no more wars. Yeah, through data. When it comes to the movement and convergence of information, it is a reality that has already arrived. And it is also a future that is already going to accelerate. But as a lawyer and as an attorney, I'd like to talk about another war, by law, by regulation. Yeah. Why the technological world have disappeared in the movement and convergence of network of informations, and we don't have limit actors as in the past, but our role and regulation are still filled with square walls and boxes. For example, the legal system for protecting personal information, privacy policy, has tragically evolved to protect the right of each individual's information over his or her own personal information. However, in the current situation, where there are no identical actors and the typical way to circulating and the convergence of information, not by paper, not by person, there are so many devices, so there are so many segments of information. Yes. So as information changes, it moves from solid to liquid to gas, and it converges and circulates in different ways. And we need to reform our legal system. We need to reform our regulation. That is the point I would like to make today. Innovation, responsibility in regulation. In Korea, 반응성, okay, something like that. Regulation and law are always based on the past. But technological progress is always a change that comes upward.
So put simply, if I was to summarize it for the audience here, you're saying that the current legal systems in place can be an impediment for startups, right?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
If regulation do not change quickly and flexibility in US as technology advance, we could end up with a system of law and regulations. So that hinder or pay to respond to new changes. At this conference, we need to discuss the future of technology and the industry it will create. And we also need to discuss and debate how our law and regulation needs to change for the future that is already imminent and here. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Great. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Then Arpad, I would like your thoughts and also response to that comment, please.
Sure.
As a consultant. Yeah. Good.
Hello, hello. Okay, yeah, that's what. I'll pass this back to you. Don't charge me though. Then I need his. I will need his support on it. Yeah, I think as a response, I mean, full align can resonate to that as well. I mean, one of the typical pitfalls when you act as a startup, as a new company, is that you oversee, or you tend to forget to oversee the legal aspect of everything, what that means in terms of the service I'm bringing to market, the product I'm bringing to market, is there any data privacy issues, and so forth. Whether it's domestic or cross-border wise, you know, same impact. So I fully agree. It's important. And we see that change too amongst law firms as a consulting firm, as a big four who has tax, audit, consultancy. We see that change among a lot of the conservative or the legacy law firms, that they now has a modern approach to how they work with the ecosystem, how they work with new companies, startups, innovative companies, provide them with such services, advice to make sure that they can sustain with involvement. That's one. And I'm going to continue to build on that in terms of what we see and how we also support, how we interact, how we enable, accelerate that part of the ecosystem. One is finance tends to be not taken into account as well. And today, in addition to like legal and policies, legislations for it, it's equally important to understand your P&L. Like, how do you structure your P&L? How do you manage funds, whether it's bootstrapped or external equity or external equity-based, debt-based financing that we have seen? How do you structure that so you can actually sustain and manage your burn rate and start building positive unit economies moving forward? That is becoming more important as well. And obviously, we having a strong finance position as well is I'm trying not to promote the firm too much, hence me being science, but that's where we're also providing a huge emphasis to that startup ecosystem. That's one, and two. The third is, if I'm looking at from an investor point of view and a corporate point of view, you know, a legacy co or a more modern MNC, you take that a lot into account. That's also one of the hinders and barriers for why collaboration between new companies and MNCs or legacy cos are not taking off, because you as a corporate, you're looking into such elements. It's important. It's actually more important than actually the product that you have and the PMF that you can prove and so forth, or the innovation element of what you bring to the market. It's actually how structured you are and what's your level of safeguardedness as well. So that's the third aspect. And also with that, when you raise money, which being a key focus for startups in the past, but I'll come to that later on. There's some other questions that raise that. You also tend to forget about how important this is. You know, the supporting functions or the quote unquote back office functions, which today are actually enablers, right? And that's how I'm going to end this part. We actually shifting those to back office to become enablers. And the same thing how we look at policies, right? So you can look at it as something that constrains and restricts you, or you can look at it as an enabler. Yeah, so that's few point of views on it.
No, thanks for that, Arpad. Because I mean, we have out of the 16 startups that are pitching today, okay, half of them are from Korea and half of them from overseas. You see, so you know the legal advice, okay, in addition to the financial support that you may get and financial advice that you get, I think that's going to be very, very critical. And it'd be good to actually maybe in the networking session later on this evening. It'd be good to actually have a chat about that with the startups that will be attending, about what your real requirements are in terms of legal advice, you know, investment and so on. Did you want to comment? I think. Yeah.
No, I just want to relate to an experience I had, but not with the firm, when I was in Indonesia actually. So I was representing one of the major telcos there, and we started to do this back in 2013. And one of the reasons was obviously for us to source tech, to source applications. And we obviously had a very collaborative lens on it. So we collaborated with one of the early days VC, Kejora, which some of you know. And together we also then realized that, hey, we need to provide office there. So this is, again, 2013. So it's very, very early days ahead the curve. We need to provide offices because that's been overlooked. We also need to provide these, enabling functions too, legal, pretty much the entire corporate secretary package, right? But also in addition to that, start educating, and I was speaking about this yesterday too, start educating about the importance. So it's also about upskilling or even new skilling to these founders that has very, very smart, cool ideas, but do not understand it. This is Greek to them. So just want to add that too.
Thanks for that. That's great, great. Now, thanks for that. Yeah, so I think I started off with a very heavy question. Apologies, okay? But it is very, very relevant. But I'd like to actually move on to a next question. That's going to be more relevant for, I think, Tenny and probably Zaif, okay? And the next question is, now how can established leading vertical players leverage and work with the innovative sector to digitally transform successfully and sustainably, okay? What are the potential challenges that need to be overcome to really make this happen? Okay, so I'll ask Jackson, you first, okay?
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah. You're Salesforce, man. All right?
Okay.
You're huge.
Yeah. Okay. I can try to answer the question.
Yeah.
Okay. So within Salesforce, innovation and collaboration is key, like you love.
Yeah.
And the way that we do it is we have this platform called App Exchange. You might be familiar with Play Store or App Store, but we created this B2B app exchange where within Salesforce platform, startups and innovative players can actually upload their apps, and the businesses that are using Salesforce can leverage it. And a great example is that an established company like Salesforce will not enter into other sectors, for example. And one great example is digital signature. So within a CRM, you're dealing with customers' data, and one of the ways that you're leveraging it is for your sales team to send contracts and so forth. But the way that we collaborate with startups like DocuSign, they're an established company now, but within Korea, we have a similar startup called Modusign. So they're #1 player within Korea market. I think in Japan they have similar players. So we create an ecosystem for startups to enter into our app exchange where they can actually use it as another source of revenue. And we have a couple of players in Korea, a couple of startups that are actually doing it, and there's more in the process of being on the app exchange. And I think it's providing a collaboration point with the startups.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, what's the revenue share in that?
Oh, so the way that it works is that just like how businesses upload their apps, right, in the app exchange. So it's a win-win because just like the Rebellion said about the 10,000 salespeople that the KT provides, right? So we have more than 300,000 business users using Salesforce CRM. So by DocuSign uploading their solution on Salesforce, all the Salesforce users can download the app for $10, $20, and it becomes a revenue generation for those people providing the apps.
What's a revenue share percentage?
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Oh, cannot share.
You can't share?
Cannot share.
Okay. I know, man.
You need to sign a lifelong NDA, John.
Hey, Tenny. From Huawei's perspective, please.
Yeah, from Huawei's perspective, actually, I think the challenge is not only for the external. Even internal, that Huawei is very huge. We have more than 200,000 of the employees today. When I joined Huawei at that moment, it's only 100,000. It's talking about 15 years ago. And we have a single business unit, the business group back to 10 years ago. But now we have 3 business units. It's called Enterprise BU and the Consumer BU and also the Carrier BU. I am from the Carrier BU. It means that our key customer is facing directly to the carrier, operator, ISP, and telecom. Even NTT is our partner in Thailand. We also work together in the data center as well. We hire their facility, but we have our own server and also own service on the cloud business. From internal, we do have a lot of challenge on the partnership. Actually, that in total today we have more than 20,000 of the solution partner nowadays. But we separate in the three business group, so you can see the competition and the matrix is very complicated. So how we can identify our right partners to help our carrier or the enterprise user to build up their ecosystem and the alliance business is very complicated. Even though not for the external, for internal, we also have some challenge that we need to communicate well internally to share the experience, certify the partner amongst the other parties. Not talking about the BU.
Yeah.
Inside the BU, we have more than 20 of different department and also the service unit.
So Tenny, just
Yeah.
you said internally you have challenges, right?
Yeah, a lot of
so what are
challenges.
these challenges?
Not only external.
Yeah, yeah.
So that even those I manage about 500 partners together, or only one person to handle 500.
Right.
So we're talking about 20,000 of the solution partner in total. So how can we work together with the partners? So we formalize some kind of, we have open net to certify the solution partners, whether they are qualified to connect with the particular, today we have the 5G network, whether their device, their application, their software, their protocol are compliant to the 5G protocol. Is that it is compliant with the standard of the GSMA standard and also the GPP standard? And what is the latency that delivered to the particular application? This is, we have we call it open net in different region. So it's different from our China region. We have over 100 of the engineer to help our regional partner to certify the application and also the device. The current challenges from Huawei today, we find that 5G, although is very booming and lots of 2B or 2C story in the market, but the device it seems to us still a little bit slower than we expected. So I'm talking about the embedded module and 5G module with the devices level. The good thing is that Huawei understand this problem in the market because the ecosystem from the circuits and the manufacturer is not really up to the scale at the moment. So that we target the 10 industry together, so that like manufacturing, healthcare, seaport, whatever, there's 10 up to different vertical. We're looking forward to work with the vertical expertise and the solution partner.
Startups as well, yeah.
Also,
yeah,
startup
yeah.
to always give us the innovative idea, so that the startup to help us to create the innovation service, and we can help them to talk to the carrier and the enterprise. Always Huawei is the middleman and also is like a consultant to provide the service and provide the recommendation. Like back to 2 years ago, we have a project in Lanchapang, it's in Thailand. There's a Hutchison Port. Nobody know how to use the remote control, the remote crane using the 5G technology. Even the operator need Huawei advice to work together. Not talking about all the traditional supply in the seaport solution vendor. So how they can work together with the technology. So Huawei always at the back to support our front end, no matter they are startup or the traditional technology vendor, to help them to build the scenario, the case from scratch. And after they build a successful case, and then we will replicate the case to another country.
Okay.
That is our business model to help them to develop.
Sure. Tenny, so in working with the startups, okay, before I go over to Zaif, but working with the startups, what other, I mean, you mentioned about the internal challenges, okay, but working with the startups, what were the challenges for you working with the startups?
Basically, we are not only in Thailand. Thailand also is booming. Is a startup from the university, the student.
Yeah.
But in Hong Kong, they have a lot of startup working with the government, and also they have the university together. The only things I can find that the problem is how to commercialize the startup solution in the enterprise business. How they can really help the industry to have a better ROI or the transformation build up the confidence to them is one of the area I always facing. The POC usually is very simple for the startup to develop the startup on the proof of concept. But after proof of concept, maybe 6 months or 3 months later, the enterprise always say that where's the ROI? Where is the mature technology? Who are the other user? They are using
Not
the
sustainable,
startup.
right?
Yeah, not stable. Okay, should I wait for another 2 years and then to replicate a similar solution to other areas? So that the startup will be very painful. They will ask the government to get the funding or get the enterprise to invest the angel fund, whatever they consult to get the extra investment. So Huawei is playing another role is help them to build the commercial case and ask the end user, the customer, really invest in the project. That's what Huawei is doing now.
Great, thanks for that. Zaif, I'd like your perspective from NTT's as a service provider working with the startups,
Absolutely. So what I think you just mentioned in Huawei, I think I was smiling and laughing because it's pretty much similar. It's very similar in NTT as well. But let me touch on other areas of challenges, right? Number one, when we get a startup working with us or any new business model that's coming to us, number one, we have to convince the internal management and the people to say that this is something that we want to do. Now, welcome to Japan. The process is very difficult. It's extremely difficult. By the time we are massaging this idea and telling them how great it is, by that time the decision maker, he has moved on to another role. And this is actually a problem. It is actually a problem. So corporates like us, we need to also change the way we manage with the ecosystem partners and how we work with the startups. And we have, and we are changing. But just imagine, I told you there are 330,000 people. And if there are 330,000 people, doesn't mean that everybody is thinking with the same mindset. So I would say the biggest challenge we have is bringing this new corporate culture into our organization where people understand that there are different types of ways of working. There are different startups, there are different companies, there are different ecosystems that we have to work with. And I think that has to become a program within the company. Now, how much will they spend on this? How much coaching do we have to do? So these are some issues that we do face. But in the real things that I face as part of me driving the enterprise business, I think somebody mentioned about, KT has 10,000 salespeople, so we can leverage and capitalize on that. Trust me, you cannot use them. they will not do anything. The thing is, the reason I say that is because they are busy with their own quota. They have their KPIs to manage. They have to report and say, I have to sell X number of mobile phones, and I have to sell this data center. And as part of that, they get the Rebellion AI chip sold. Great, But it's not like they're running out to sell Rebellions or the full AI stack. So similarly, like at Docomo, at NTT, we have startups that we work with or new companies that come up with innovative solutions that we work with, but our salespeople are not trained. They are not trained to sell those services. When they go to the customer, they're like, oh, you're from Docomo. How many mobile sets can I buy from you? How many SIMs can I buy from you? They're not going to ask him suddenly one day, hey, you got robots? They're not going to ask. So I think the marketing, we have to change the way we're doing our marketing. We have to perception. Yeah, and the perception as well. And I think that's why these forums are extremely important, because now you get to know that, oh yeah, we have to change the way we think, not just with our ecosystem partners, but internally within your organization. That's why I showed you a slide that we had an organizational transformation. It's a big step for these companies. They cannot make these things happen in one day, but with these type of transformation, we make better collaboration.
Thank you, Zaif. Good insight.
You are welcome.
Great. That was a great answer, and I hope the audience managed to gain some insight through Zaif's comments, and of course Tenny's comments, and of course Jackson. My next question is to you're representing the association, but also a startup, okay?
Yes.
Yeah. So you may want to just introduce your startup as well, please.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
My name is Andis. I'm the leader or chief of the INVRA, Indonesia VR AR Association. And I also have a startup in the virtual reality and also extended reality industry. And it's already 7.5 years. I built this startup since 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah. And fortunately, I have one founder also from Japan, and he is also ex-NTT. Then I kidnapped him from NTT. So yeah, mostly Infra. Actually, I'm here, sitting here as appointed from Infra. We have, I think in Indonesia, we have already 20 something VR AR startup in Indonesia, and we start collaborating each other since 7 years ago, and now we are also collaborating with the Ministry of Industrial and also some of the ministry like education and also information and technology.
Yeah.
And yeah, we hopefully come here and we can also doing a bigger collaboration with Korea also, and everybody's here. If you want to know about the VR AR industry in Indonesia, just come to us.
Great, thank you. Thanks for the introduction. Now,
Yeah.
my next question to you.
Okay.
As a startup, okay?
Yeah,
Because
okay.
we've spoken to the established companies, we've spoken to the consultants, the legal and the business strategy consultants. My next question: how can innovative organizations like yourself, okay, startups and modern companies, okay, help leading established companies in specific verticals digitally transform themselves and their service propositions? Okay, now we've heard it from the established company's perspective. From your perspective, as a startup perspective, I think we'll be very, very interested in hearing your opinion.
I think my answer will be easier because I have collect information from these big brothers, right? So I'm interested when you say about POC, proof of concept. But in my mind, I have also POC to do that. But it's not proof of concept. P is a purposes for me. So whether that's startup or a big brothers, when we do a collaboration, like we need to understand the big purposes. First thing first, the big purposes, especially for startup, they always start with the big purposes, right? Like like solving all the solution in this world, right? And then
Big picture.
also
right?
big picture, big purposes.
Yep.
So we need to also, I think to start to leveraging each verticals, we need to start from these big purposes first. And then from there, we need to understand about the outcome. So what is the outcome that from these verticals that we can leverage and helping these big industries, not only big industries, but also maybe government. Because, for example, in Indonesia, we also not collaborate with big companies. Like in Indonesia, we have Telkomsel, right? Not only that, but also with the government. So how infra, not only my companies in the VR, but also infra friends, we, grouping each other and then helping government to create some kind like registration number for the VR and AR. At that time, they don't understand how to formulate that. So all these verticals, if we also are talking to the big industries, we have certain, like this startup have a certain specification, but the fundamental of their specification, it always come from the big purposes, like AI chip, the rebellions ones, and also the robot that brings the water. So firstly, they always come from the big purposes, and then they have a specification for that. And then, if it's combined each other, I think not only big companies, but also government can calculate and formulate the outcomes that they want to do together.
Okay.
Right? So especially maybe for the big companies, the outcomes, and I'm also agree with your statement that big companies is always busy with their businesses, right? So then comes startup like kids, right? And then okay, this is new kid from the blocks coming to me, and then offer something that I might not understand what is it, like, but when uh, this startup can deliver the outcome
Yep.
that can given to the big companies that might be understand. So you need to like to know each other, not only to sell your technologies but also to sell your proposals and the outcome that you can give to these big brothers.
Can I
So-
interject here? So to that point,
Yeah. Yeah.
before we lose the momentum here.
Yeah.
So when you visit us, don't talk to the politician. You should talk to the business people.
Yes.
So I think this is the important thing. So if you talk to the right people and to the right people in the organization, because we have too many people, I think that's the part where we have to fix. Sorry, just want to make sure.
Yes.
I think that's very important.
Great, great.
And I think the C one from the POC, and I think it's related to the legal finance, is a commitment. And I also understand, what Huawei and also NTT experienced before that, working with startup, and sometimes, okay, 1 year's run, and then after that 2 years, 3 years, and then poof, gone. and not only
We've all
in
experienced
Huawei
that,
and also in entity, I met many things same happen in Indonesia. So that's why I think the last part is a commitment that can bind into for the legal, like not only NDA and also the signing MOU or something, but more likely like that, like all the solution that can comes to the give the outcomes to the big companies, and also can give the outcomes to the startup itself, and it could be like
Commitment,
share.
commitment with content. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
also
okay, yeah,
share,
yeah,
right?
Great, great.
So
Yeah.
the commitment, not only legal but also the finance things
Yeah.
that we can, writing together, sitting down together. Of course, the process will be not easy.
Yep.
It will be, so many times you will
Sure.
have a meeting to talk about that commitment. But when you sign that, startup needs to commit.
And
That's
this brings me to my next question.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to actually ask the consultants at the end there, the legal consultant and the business consultant. How should successful ecosystem collaboration or partnerships be promoted to the investment community? Okay. Now, this question is a prequel to the closing panel discussion that we will have after the 16 startup pitches. Okay. So over to you, Mission first.
Yeah, I speak one more problem to be global. Yeah. For example, one company has some kind of service by internet or website. There are so many customers. Someone Brazilian, someone Cuban, someone American. Yes, there are so many customers. And the service and the internet and the technology, there are no border.
That's right.
There are no border.
Yeah.
But role is in the border. So, for example, a privacy policy, and in EU, there are some kind of a GDPR regulation, and America, in US, some healthcare company have to rule by HIPAA, HIPPA, the privacy policy in US law. And in Korea, 개인정보보호법 and privacy policy law. There are so many regulations. There are too many border of regulations. So I think that it's very big problem, and there are very big problem, and many startups cannot solve the problem because there are too lots of P from lawyers for lawyers. So I think that. How about make some kind of standard regulation by the service or some kind of privacy? I think that it will be good for startup, and it is good for global cross-border business. And I think that it is needed. we will make some kind of standard. Yeah.
Okay, okay, great. Thanks for that. That's about the need for the legal advice, okay, given the borders in relation to the legal requirements in different countries, okay?
Yes.
But great, thanks for that. That's definitely needed. RPAD, can I just ask you, how could successful ecosystem collaboration, okay, partnerships, be promoted to the investment community?
That's quite of a question, John.
Yeah. You're a consultant, okay?
Yeah.
You can talk about anything.
Yeah.
You can
So
solve.
hence I will structure it so I can synthesize.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. That's typical consulting jargons. But you know, it depends. We talk about CVCs, VCs, PEs, angel investors, and so forth, so forth. So it's
Overall. Yeah,
overall. No, I will
because,
stick.
because
I will
startups
I will
want
look-
money, right? They want investment, right? Whether it be from
So this-
VCs or LPs or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is that it shouldn't be looked from a funding perspective. Right? You need to look at what is that increment value I can create for a MNC or a corporate. Corporates also look at it. How can this tech or this product enable me to drive that incremental value? Whether that translates directly, indirectly to TSR, new value space that you can enter. I guess that depends on the purpose. So I like what Andy said. The
Purpose, yeah,
purpose. So I want to emphasize that. So that's one way of promoting by emphasizing what is the purpose I bring to you as a corporate, and for a corporate, what is that purpose I'm looking for when I'm looking into startups or modern companies, new course, and so forth. The second is, and this is quite challenging because end of the day, it's also what you said, if it's actually to find the right sponsor within a large organization as well. At the same time, a sponsor also will struggle about the GRCs that you have in your company, right? And there's a reason for why you have a very strict GRC in a corporate, because end of the day, you report and you have a responsibility to your shareholders, right? And anyone who's been into an AGM or Rupsjapa in a public listed company, for example, knows like how you can be drilled in that. But it goes down to that. End of the day, you need to find that right person. That right person need to have the right environment within that organization. You as a startup, you also need to understand that your product needs to drive certain value, right? You need to push on that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that the past decade or maybe like 5-6 years, when you talk to startups, there's been a huge emphasis on like we are rock stars, we disrupt, we democratize, and so forth. It's actually not all about that. That's not going to drive successful collaboration. Successful collaboration will be, we have a solid PMF in place. This is how we can contribute to your organization. Not putting concept telcos, right? Because everyone want to work with telcos. We spoke about that yesterday. Ernest Q, the CEO of Globe, was promoting that you as a telco, you do have assets that gives a company, a new co, I try not to say startups, a new co, unfair advantage if you position it right. So meaning that if you know how to use the data, you know how to play the legal play, the legislation policy play, and so forth. You know how to leverage distribution. You get that unfair advantage. And that's what you need to emphasize. That's the last element. But to get there is not that easy either. And I'm saying it based on experience, not the firm representing. I've been at the industry. I've been representing a major telco in Indonesia, not PT Telkom Japa, but the second one. I've been part of the startup VCs community as well. I've been incubating startups. I've been investing into startups. I've done that as a private investor. I've done that within a enterprise as well. Again, the telco in Indonesia. I've been in the consulting. I'm back in consulting. It takes time, right? And that's where our role comes in. So what we're trying to do now, or what we're doing now, so we have, the firm has Entrepreneur of the Year award, which we're promoting very aggressively. And we're doing it for two reasons. One is that we really want to drive that successful collaboration, whether it's to investment committee or the industry. It actually doesn't matter because equally parties need to be educated as much. And through that, we drive that organization dexterity too in terms of mature to understand like how do you actually work with these new cos. And we do the same for the new cos, aka startups. So that answer your question, but also brought it back to the sector. And I'm going back to what I said before. It's all about also skilling, right? Because I want to say this because this is the shift in paradigm I have seen and I could see continuously. And if you go So John Howe, the Bear product, Bear Robotics founder, mentioned Bay Area. If you go to Bay Area today and look at the average age of a founder of a tech company, it's not the 20 years old Gen Z, right? It's actually a 40 plus something years old experienced professional that knows how to collaborate with these investments.
And the big picture as well. Yeah.
Big picture that is material and also executable, right? So that's the last element too. Like, you need to understand that execution is key, and the way you compete today as a corporate is actually through execution, enabled by innovation, right? So they know about this, and that's why I'm going back to what I said, skilling, right? Whether it's upskilling, reskilling, new skilling, goes to parties. Startups need to be new skilled, upskilled on legislation, corporate finance, maintain a P&L, think about positive unit economies, and not look at how much money I raise, because that can fire back as well. So you need to look at those hard elements, and then same thing with corporates, as I said, right? They need to understand that. And I might step ahead, but I just want to say this last and share this experience. I've been building corporate venture builders within a corporate as well. Again, it's the telco in Asia. I've been advising corporate venture builders. We have a lot of them in Southeast Asia, predominantly in Singapore and Indonesia. I'm not going to mention names, but the best way where I've seen successful collaboration amongst all these parties, startups, corporates, so you can gain that advantage of the assets they have, data, distribution, and so forth, and startups and investors, is actually by delayering, right? You as a corporate, best way is delayer. So the way the people, the organization that manage the collaboration and they represent that part in the ecosystem, they need to be separated. Because it goes back what you said, Zaif. It's a different GRC. Your governance is very different. And for corporate to change that governance, it's impossible, because you report to audit committees, you report to remuneration committees, you have your AGM or your RUPs, right? You have your EGMs and so forth. You can't. You need to delayer with what that ever translates. Complete delayering or JV, whatever, it depends. But that's the way of driving that success collaboration amongst these three elements. I will pause there.
Okay. Thanks. Arpad. You talk like a consultant. Too long.
I just need to say, I'm charging Johnny on a T&M basis.
Too long.
I was about to interject, but I didn't.
Okay. But no, really, thanks very much for your comments. Okay.
Yeah.
But most of the people most of the attendants here are from startups. Okay, so.
So feel free to reach out to me. I mean, I've been engaged in the soul space as well, like
no,
soul
please don't.
startup
He'll
space.
charge you. So.
I won't.
All right, no, joking, guys. Yeah, really, thank you very much, gentlemen. Okay, thank you really very much for your insight. Look, before we finish off this panel, I mean, we are, over time, thanks to Arpad for.
You're welcome.
Look,
Again,
it's
I'm
lunchtime
charging
now.
Johnny.
I know you guys are starving. Okay, please, you can go out. It's buffet lunch. Please come back probably 5 minutes before 2 o'clock, because we're going to have really exciting 16 pitches from startups. So come back in time, especially the panelists. You guys need to be here 5 or 10 minutes before 2. Okay. All right. So enjoy your lunch and see you back in 50 minutes.
Thank you.
Cheers.